Yo, YouTube. What is going on, YouTube homies and fam? Always good to be on again. Friday night. Not a whole lot going on for this big guy tonight, but that's not unusual, seeing as how there's not a whole lot that I really can do as far as getting around and doing things. But that's all right. That's all right. That's okay. That's not why we're gonna. That's not why we're here tonight. We're not gonna talk about me and my issues. Sorry, as I get everything straightened up with the hat, make sure it's live and legit. Hello, viewer. How are you? Hope you're having a good time. A good Friday. Getting ready for a good weekend. I could sit here and I could talk about sports. I could sit here and talk about politics. I could sit here and I could talk about all the things going on in the world that we might not like. We might not even agree on, but we could always agree to disagree. And I like that. I like that. And you know what else? I like people to disagree with me about it. It encourages people to think freely. It allows them to be able to be themselves and truly allow them to be able to express themselves and how they think and how their mind works. And a lot of times people, they're scared to say what they really think or how they really feel. I'm not one of those people. Doesn't doesn't bother me a bit. Got big shoulders. Big, big shoulders. So doesn't bother me a bit. But it does occur to me or has occurred to me watching, a lot of these influencers and the little niche that I generally stick to being sports and sports cards, you know, you know, whether or not you know the difference between a collector and a flipper, whether you can differentiate between a collector and a business, or whether or not you simply dabble in a little bit of both and kind of like a hybrid situation. You got to be able to pick and choose and stay in your lane and figure out which one you belong in, you know. And ultimately, what it comes down to is what's in your best interest. Fuck what everybody else is doing because they're not in your position. They're not you. You know what I'm saying? They're not. They're not you. They're not you. And the rest of these guys are putting out content out there and telling you this and telling you that. They're not doing it because they're nice guys. They're doing it because they want you to subscribe so they can grow and they can get monetized. Not a secret. This is not news. This is nothing that you have never heard before. I guarantee it. But that's just because everybody's got an agenda. But they sneak around and like to fucking sit there and beat around the bush rather than just get straight down to and get to the point. If you want to know what my agenda is, I'll tell you what my agenda is. It's not monetization, it's not views, it's not subs, it's my personal enjoyment and entertainment. I've got nothing else to do. So for me to get on the mic, get in front of the camera, and talk about something I can speak to without, sound like a fucking idiot doesn't bother me. You know, sports, politics, hell, weather, meteorology, astrology, whatever. It doesn't matter. It makes no difference. My channel primarily consists of the sports card hobby, and then we mix in sports because they're kind of one and the same. And that's not to say that all sports cards are sports cards. You got plenty of non-sports stuff out there too. Your Pokemons and your Yu-Gi-Ohs and everything in between. I don't really get into any of that, but I do have a bunch of Pokemon stuff from back in the day. But that's just what it is. But I watch a lot of these other guys in the same kind of niche as I am, and they, excuse me, as I was getting a little parched. But you know, in the sports card hobby, it's become less of a hobby and just more of a money grab. People will sit there and tell you how to make money and how to list and how they list and what they buy and why they buy and how to do this and how to do that. If you want to buy sports cards, flip them, you ought to check those cats out. Me, I don't sell. I don't sell. I'm a collector. I've been a collector for 40 years. So I don't anticipate that changing anytime soon. If it does, shit, I'll let you know. But I don't. You know, there's no right or wrong answer on what you should buy or how you should buy it or how much you should pay for it or how much it's worth. There's an idea. There's a sample size that you could look at and be like, that's all right. Okay. But ultimately, what it comes down to is what's your budget? What do you like? And that's it. Okay. If you can't afford a $20 card, buy a $2 card if that's what you can afford. If you can't afford the best Tops card or the best Bowman card, you know, get a Leaf, get a Sage, get an Onyx, get a wild card. There's a lot of stuff you can get of your favorite player that doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. But even then, I hear Leaf getting pushed. I hear Panini always getting pushed. Tops I always hear get pushed. I like Wild Card. I like Wild Card back in the '90s when they originally came out. Obviously, things have changed since the '90s, but the they kind of stand apart from the other cards. I think they look really nice. I like the Onyx stuff too. They came out. There's some other stuff that's come out too that's pretty decent looking, and I wouldn't mind spending money on it all. And people telling you should buy this or you should invest in that. You should spend, you should look into getting this guy before he blows up or this that. Why throw away that money speculating? Just buy what you like. Whether it's a graded or an ungraded card makes no difference. If it's a card that you want, whether it's sentimental, something that takes you back to when you were younger and you really enjoy that card or that player for whatever reason, makes no difference. It's your money, it's your business. You buy whatever you want. Don't let anybody tell you different, you know, and they shouldn't. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And a lot of times, these guys, like I told you, I'm not taking anybody. I'm not taking any individual. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. That's not the way I operate. I still like to think that this is a hobby, and though I'm different in my approach to it and my content that I put out, I'm not PG. I'm not PG-13. I'm R, maybe MMA 17. I don't know, whatever the fucking, uh, you know, I use foul language. I'm not politically correct, but that's me. I'm not going to change or accommodate for anybody. That's just the way it is. It's always going to be that way. It's never going to stop. But I do know a thing or two about a thing or two. And I'll tell you right now, with very few exception, there are certain cards, and you can take a small sample size, you can take a large sample size. The small sample size is what the guys who want to do these quick flips, you know, smash and grabs, whatever you want to call them, and make their money on them, get out, and be done. They're not collectors. It's not a hobby to them, it's a business. And being able to understand the difference between a business and a hobby is key. This channel that I have, my channel, Max's channel, my platform, this is my channel. All right, I'm promoting myself. I'm not promoting my business. All right, I'm promoting myself, and I'm talking about and speaking to things that I want to speak to. So it's me, and whoever wants to listen in, more than welcome to. You know, it's sports cards and sports and whatever else I want to talk about. I'm not restricted or limited to do anything or any, but I mean that there's no restrictions. It's okay. I don't want to be restricted. I don't want to be silenced, and I don't want to be limited to what I can and can't say. And I don't think any of us do. I also don't want to be told what I should and shouldn't buy or not buy and why I should and shouldn't do it based on your opinion that may be biased for whatever reason. I want people to be able to think for themselves and make up their own minds. It's very simple. Be a free thinker. Use common sense. Use your head. That tool between your shoulders, that's the best thing we've got. That's the only thing we got if we want to survive. Okay. But I hear a lot of these guys. It just doesn't make me mad. And like I said, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. They say what they want to say. I don't necessarily go on with anybody. Nobody's invited me to talk with them. I don't talk about statistics, how many cars I got graded. I don't care about any of that. That's somebody else's channel. I just talk to what I want to talk about and collect the way I want to collect and try to give you some good advice best I can. If you listen, great. You know, wonderful. I'll tell you what not to listen to. I'll tell you who not to listen to. You can give me your opinion on that and tell me whatever you think. But I'll tell you, in this business, in this industry, however you look at it, in this hobby as it's evolved over the years, there have been quite a bit of changes. And even here, just as of yesterday, I'm not saying anything bad about it. Jeff Wilson opened up a $3 million, 14,000 square foot sports card selling facility with also trading card games as well, I believe. And from my personal experience as a former business owner, and I've owned several successful businesses and currently am still vested in successful businesses, I can tell you that a venture in which he has undertaken is going to require a considerable amount of not only web-based internet, online shopping, e-commerce, whatever you want to call it, but you have to have a significant, consistent amount of foot traffic. You absolutely 100% have to have it. You cannot completely have a brick and mortar facility that's $3 million that you spend and not have that place with people in it. So, mistake. Not the best advice. I've not ever heard him honestly give good advice, and I'm not bad mouthing the guy. I wish him nothing but the best as another small business owner. I hope he does well. I hope he succeeds. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think I am. Right now is probably the worst time that you could possibly pick to open up this particular business, or in some cases, any business. With the uncertainty of things in this economy, in this day and age, under this administration, however you want to look at it. But it doesn't make as much sense to me, and I don't think it would make as much sense to anybody that has half a brain to do what he did. Or you can do what he did, but not on that type of level. That's that's a card shop on like some gamma radiation steroid shit. That's unnecessary. It's too much. It's overwhelming. That's a hell of a nut you got to bust. Make sure you got plenty of money in the bank. And then you start dipping into your own pocket and have to pay for it, man, you're not going to last very long at all. But like I said, I hope I'm wrong. I wish him the best. I wish him the best. And that's great. But I would definitely never take advice from him on anything having to do with finance because he has never been right. Like, hey, Jeff, who do you think's winning the game? No, 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 not going to happen. No, thank you. No, thank you. It's yeah, it's crazy to me some of the shit that he says and gets away with, and yet he's opening up this you know, $1 million retail store, and it's crazy to me. It's not, like I said earlier, you got to know when to stay in your lane, and you got to know which lane you want to be in the first place, bro. Listen, if you're not a sports guy, okay, then being the proprietor of a sports card shop might not be the best idea. If you invest in tech companies and that's what you do, maybe that's what you should stick to. Like, if I was a plumber and I was a hell of a plumber, I'm the best plumber, maybe I should continue to plumb. Maybe I would continue to be the best plumber. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you shouldn't venture out and try and explore new things and different avenues, whatever the case is. But at the same time, I believe that you need to fucking know what the fuck you're talking about if you're going to talk about something. Otherwise, people are not the smartest, and they'll listen to what you have to say. They'll listen to what you say, and without giving it a second thought, they'll act on it, just like that. And oddly enough, they'll blame you when the shit fails, and that's what people do. And that's why you get all the shit that you get. That's why Gary Vee gets all the shit that he gets. That's why all these other guys get the shit that they get. Then you got other individuals, and I'll tell you, like sports card nonsense, nothing but love for those guys. Sports card dad Dustin, love watching his stuff. Dan, the card man from down under, Australian dad's what I like to call him. Love his stuff. But they're all different from what I put on it. The young kid, brand new kid, SCV. Hey, this kid's been doing this for 6 months, got thousands of followers, but nice shows, gives good information. That's what he does. But all of us put out different types of shows. Doesn't matter who you are. Though we talk about similar things, we're all different in the same little niche that we're in. And I like to support all the channels, especially the ones I mentioned, and there's plenty more out there that you can get into and check out if that's what you want to do. But me, like I said, what you hear is what you get. I'm not going to hold back on anything or anyone, but I'm not bad mouthing anybody. I really like all the guys that I just mentioned. I've interacted with some of them. Raul, I like AIH. Uh, Another one that I've interacted with before. Not that I've had serious, deep, long conversations with anybody, but I would love to be able to do that. Get them here and have them on the show sometime on the channel. And when I say that they're not being truthful with you, I'm not necessarily talking about these guys, but Jeff Wilson. Yeah, I don't listen. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not talking shit on the guy when I tell you that he hasn't given you the best advice on what you should be investing in, if that's what you want to call it, in the realm of sports cards. But at the same time, it listen, it is what it is. And if you haven't seen what I have seen, and I don't know how you couldn't, then he's made a lot of bad calls, like an NFL ref, man, in this fucking last season. So I think that, ultimately it's going to come down to him just not being very competent about the shit that he says. It's just not, no, he's not that, not that tough, not that smart. And I don't believe in him. I'm sorry, as I'm going through this right here, this popped up, guys. I think you, I think you guys will forgive me. There, sorry about that. But yeah, when it comes to influencers, you listen to a lot of these different guys, and you see the guys come and go. Me, I told you when I started doing this in July that I'm going to come out with at least a video a week. I've had my boy on here a couple times, Anthony Randazzo, aka Frank Rizzo. We talk sports. We're going to talk war sports because we're both Chiefs fans. I'm in Kansas City. He's in Florida, around the Orlando area. Matter of fact, he ran into White Chocolate the other day. I'll post a picture of it. White Chocolate, if you don't know who that is, that's Jason Williams. Played for Sacramento. Played won championship with Miami with Shaq and D Wade back in, was that 06? Yeah, but he met up with him at a Kubota, I believe is what it's called. We got them out here. I've never been to them. From what I understand, they're delicious. So have one of those big ass burritos or whatever what they are, like a Chipotle. But yeah, yeah, I enjoy this. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. Just like anything else, If you got to do something that's drudgery and it makes you not, you got that kind of and it's like fucking a headache or whatever. You don't enjoy it, don't do it. Don't worry about it. Me, if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. But I do enjoy it. That's why I'm here. Yeah. Now, I might not be the prettiest boy in the world, but that's okay. Some of these other motherfuckers are uglier than me. They're not even close. I got another question too. There's some of the shit that people on some of these other channels I see, it's crazy. It's just insane to me how some of these people watch some of this trash that's on YouTube. It's wild. But as I said when I started this thing out, try to build this thing up. Might take some time. I might have to tweak some stuff. I got some equipment that told you I was going to invest in, and I'm holding true to what I say. That's what I'm going to do and be the best I can at what I do, whatever that crap would be. Then I don't have to be the kind of guy that appeals to everybody because you're never going to be that guy. try to please everybody is going to end up you just being miserable. So I'll never be that guy. I'm going to do what I do because I like it. And if there's a point that comes to where I don't want to do it or don't like it, don't enjoy it, don't want to do it, I won't. But as far as this hobby goes, I don't. It's difficult to call it a hobby anymore just because of all the different facets of it now anymore. It's changed so much that it's become a business, and that part of it I don't like. I think that price wise, product needs to come down significantly all across the board to make it affordable, and not just for individuals like myself who can't afford it, can afford it. But there again, at the, from my age and my standpoint, it's a lot easier for me to come up with money than it is for probably a, I don't know, 12, 13-year-old kid, unless you want to fucking keep asking your pops, your moms, or some of the boxes 6 and up, 9 and up, whatever. Who do you think is buying all this shit? You think it's the kids got money to buy a case of immaculate and flawless and national treasures and all this other shit? No, it's grown ass men like me and other dudes that have money. That's who it is. People with money buying this stuff. And I'm not saying there's not money to be made in it, but when it comes to sports cards, there's only certain ones, like I said, with exception, that are going to maintain value. And now I'm not talking about 52 fucking Mickey Mantle. I don't care about Mickey Mantle, but that is one of those cards that it's going to hold value to a point and it's only going to dip so far. Just like a Michael Jordan rookie or a Dr. J rookie or a Wilt Chamberlain rookie or a Havlicek rookie or a Lou Alcindor / Kareem Abdul-Jabbar rookie or George Brett rookie or a fucking, you get what I'm saying here. The one thing about sports cards that is, this is the truth. A lot of these guys, they touch on it, but they don't tell you this. If you want to make money, the money is in the trading card games, the Pokemon. The demand for this shit, the Pokemon, the trading card games, is far, far, far more than what sports cards are, even on the grading side of things. So that's what I think about it. And even then, it's a game. Pokemon's a game. It's you you can dig into it and figure all that shit out on your own. Not my thing. Like I said, I got a bunch of Pokemon stuff because I have a younger son, and when he was even younger, that's what he was into. So, bought Pokemon, and I bought a bunch of shit, a lot of it. But there again, not everybody's like me. I don't want to sit here. I'd rather just sit here, ad lib, go live, and be able to put on video, make a video live, not have to worry about anything. And it is easy to do. I can report on shit like these other cats, but that's not me. That's not what I want to do. And I'm not going to do something I don't want to do. I think we got that pretty clear. One thing, though, that these other cats out here that promote and they always talk about, and sports card radio, that's another one of the two dudes. I think they're brothers, Ryan and the other dude. I don't remember their names. But I, if we're all in the same business and we're all in the same hobby and we're all collecting, whether we're selling or not, it's a different story. But if we're all collecting, then let's all kind of think tank this shit and get together. And yeah, maybe I'm a little bit, strange when it comes to the way that I'm viewed, but doesn't mean anything. I'm very, very easy to get along with. I get along well with others. I put pretty nice with others, I think. And I really don't know. I've reached out before, but the only person so far that I've got on, this is my boy, Frank Rizzo, Anthony Randazzo. I don't have a chalkboard behind me. I don't want to write a bunch of shit down. I'm going to erase a bunch of shit just to write more shit down. Nope. I can just tell you. I'm not putting on a fucking class. Not a teacher. No. Not a teacher. Not a preacher. Don't know it all. Never said I did. Don't claim to. But my perspective, based on my experience and other factors that are, some can be considered intangible, I suppose, you still have to account for. And if you don't, then you're just getting half the fucking story. But I'm telling you that a lot of these guys that you hear out here putting out content and doing what they're doing are starting to add some other things, whether it's because they want to make more money, doesn't matter. That's their business. But I'm telling you that everybody's got an angle. That's what one other individual said. My angle is personal. And by personal, I'm going to say in the fact that it benefits me in a way like, talking to a therapist, except I don't have to pay anybody. This computer and this mic, that's all I need. There's my therapy session. Done. These other guys, they want to do it, whether it be for notoriety, whether it be for fame, whether it be for fortune. Doesn't matter. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you go into it with that expectation and having that expectation, if you fall short of it, who do you think is going to be disappointed? There's a lot of people out here all competing for the attention of the internet with everybody else. And, you know, it's a lot of channels on here. Now, not all of them are sports related, etc. But for the ones that are, everybody pretty much knows what's what. And I'd like to see more. I'd like to see it grow and get bigger. I'd like to see more people take interest in it because, these are just as much pieces of art as anything that you would find in a museum to a point. And I think they should be remembered. They all have stories behind them, some good, some bad. But I think they all invoke some sort of nostalgia and a bit of memory for individuals. And I think that's always a good thing to have and share with others. So it can build common ground and we can find common ground and build on to it if we needed to. But I think it's good for the hobby. I think it's good for the people in the hobby. And I think it builds camaraderie. I don't think there's any reason to, you know, people ask me, why don't I ever have any show some cards? I made a video. I showed some cards. I got like cards all around me everywhere I go. So it's not that I can't show cards. I can show cards. I got plenty of cards, but I don't want to be that guy that's showing cards because what does that do? What, you want to see what cards I got? What fun is that? I rather I'd rather sit talk about sports or talk about cards, talk about the good days, talk about the old days, even talk about modern days, going to these sports shows or sports card shows now and the experience that you have now versus the experience you had back then. How much can you, let's see, let's go back to, let's say, 92. Let's say in 1992, if you had 25, 30, let's say $20, $20, you can walk into a card store and spend hours there. And for $20, you can get a lot of shit. Walk into a card store now with $20. What are you coming out with? Where are you shopping? You shopping at the dollar box? You shopping at the quarter box? What are you doing? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that because honestly, that's some of the most fun that I've had going into a lot of card shops. Card shows, a little bit overwhelming, but even then, in my situation, I'm limited to mobility, which is fine. It's not an excuse. I still wouldn't enjoy going to a large card show and or card shop and having to walk endlessly around and then have to ask and barter and make my business public. I like to deal with individuals on a one-to-one basis whenever possible. So that's just the way I like to do things. And you know, I'm an in your face kind of motherfucker. Just the way I roll. It's the way I've always been. I don't shy away from anything. And I'm not going to start now. I've never done it before. Why would I? But I want you and encourage you and influence you if I do anything. Think for yourselves to act, you know, listen, don't try to keep up with anybody. If you want to better yourself in ways, there's plenty of ways you can better yourself. You can look yourself in the mirror and you can ask yourself, hey, what could I do to improve my life? What could I do differently that'll help me down the line? And you can find out real quick what you're made of, what you've got inside of you, how you're built, and what your wiring's like when you test yourself and you really test yourself. But, you know, That's up to you if you really want to find out what you're made of. But otherwise, I want you to think for yourself. Don't sit out here and listen to a bunch of knuckleheads that aren't you, that aren't in your position, that don't have the same means, you know. And this is not a knock on SCV, but look, if Homeboy is only 21 years old, and that's great. If he's been doing this for a number of years, he's only 21. He's a young dude. I'm more than twice his age, and I've done more than twice the shit that he has. So that being said, my perspective on certain things is going to be quite different from his. And it's not just because I'm older, that's because we're totally different people. And that same goes for you watching, or you, or anybody else, even Jeff Wilson's crazy ass, or Gary Vee. If you want to listen to Gary Vee, listen to Gary Vee. But I'm telling you, the advice he's giving you is the same common sense shit that you should already know. And if you don't, you can just tune in to me and I'll let you know. Because I'll pivot from one thing to the other. Or as everybody likes to segue into this now. I don't give a fuck what you use verbiage wise. Semantics. I can use big words too. It's not a big deal. I'll fuck with you. Doesn't bother me a bit. And if foul language does offend you, sounds like you're a pussy. I don't know what to tell you on that. That's some pussy shit there. You should be at the point now that we're way past that. This is 2024. I thought we'd be levitating and fucking flying and shit and all kinds of shit, but nope. Yep, still wearing fucking hats and still got fucking glasses. No, nope, haven't really impressed ourselves all that much. Could have done a lot better. Here we are, like dumb shits. Yeah, but that's what I wanted to get out. I was watching some stuff earlier, and I was like, these motherfuckers, they're telling you all this shit like they're gonna help you. They're gonna help you sell your shit on eBay because they got some kind of pull and some flex. Like it's gonna make your card more attractive because these guys are gonna be on and trying to sell it with their influence. What the fuck does that even mean? You don't want the card, or you don't. What does he come with the card? What the fuck is he gonna do? Is he gonna just put a couple hundreds in? I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense. Like we're going to use our influence to help you sell your cars on eBay. Like what? Like no, that doesn't even make sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. Like you're not going to help me sell the card unless you want to bid on the motherfucker and buy it. that's the only real way if you want to help me. It's just crazy. But like I said, think for yourselves. Marvin Gaye said it best: "Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear." And that's true. You know, all these people got their own interest in mind. I told you what my interests are, what my agenda is, and I'm Russian and Jewish. So I don't have any reason to lie to you. I'm here because I want to be here. I'm talking about what I want to talk about. I'll bring on whoever I want to bring on because this is my channel. This is my show. This is my Shea Club Shay Shay. This is my ESPN. All right, this is my Fox News. This is my shit. Do what I want, how I want, when I want, the way I want. And nobody's going to tell me any different. So that's what this episode was about. Next one, we're going to talk about. Hopefully, hopefully we'll get it done here the next day or two. I want to get Anthony, aka Frank Rizzo, back in the mix so we can discuss what we're going to do these 49ers. And I already told you 49ers are going to lose, looking at like 34, 35 to 17. And if they can get 17, which I don't know if they will or not. It's not going to be a close game. Take the money line, take the Chiefs. I don't even want to get back into it. I can get into it when I got somebody to bounce shit off of. Otherwise, do whatever you want. But if you want to bet against the Chiefs, that's your mistake. That's all good. That's just more money for other people. And if you watch my channel and you saw my weekly picks, you know that I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And not to mention the fact that I don't encourage gambling. But if you're going to do it anyway, and there's nothing I can do to stop you, which same as smoking. I don't encourage smoking, but you know what? I don't care. As long as what you do doesn't affect anyone around you, mainly like children or old people or mentally challenged or physically fucking challenged people, I don't care. Or women. I don't care what you do. I don't care. If you bang heroin and that makes you happy, as long as you don't have to take care of a small child or anybody else for that fact, or have to drive a vehicle, bang all the H you want. Fuck, I hope you overdose. Shit. If you're an alcoholic and you're out in the ocean, I hope you get eaten by a fucking shark. But only if you fucking beat your wife. Just the way I feel. Just saying. If you're a racist piece of shit, I hope you get your ass beat by fucking people that you hate the most. Things like that. Like I said, I'm not for everybody, but I should be. You should listen more what I got to say, because unlike everybody else, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I said, I'm your CNN, I'm your Fox News, I'm your ABC, I'm your NBC, I'm your Peacock, I'm your Paramount, I'm your Max. I am your Max. I'll give you everything you want to fucking know about. Here's one for you. The war in Ukraine. Here's how it ends. Here in a matter of months, somebody's going to look at the books. When they look at the books, they look at the numbers, and they realize how much money we shit away on these fucking idiots. They're going to stop giving them money. Now, once you stop funding these motherfuckers, they're not going to be able to fight. At the same time, as all this is going to go on here in the near future, the president-elect, which is going to be Trump, in case you were curious, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. If you think Biden or Kennedy, the ex-heroin addict, has a chance of winning, you're probably the same motherfucker listening to them influencers. So you think, do whatever you want. That's on you. But what will happen back to Ukraine, when we take a look, we're going to stop funding them. And then we're not going to make, but Trump, Putin, they're going to come up with something. They'll make it work. Don't worry. And Israel, I support 100%. Rest of the countries, I don't give a shit. Israel, support 100% because we helped create Israel. So we're obligated to help support Israel. Plus, they're our only ally, real ally in that whole fucking territory. Fuck. Besides that, that's all I got for now. Otherwise, expect the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, mortgage the house. Remember that this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. All the shit that I talk, I'm going to continue talking that shit. And I love it. And I know you love it too. So if you ever want to come on here, we can get on together and make it a day. It'll be fun. Everyone likes having fun. And the closer we get to political season, the crazier the shit talk gets. Because, basketball season, we're about to enter that. As soon as the Super Bowl is over, we're going to talk about draft picks, this and that, going crazy. Yeah, I'm excited about it. And I back up my shit. Don't let the tattoos fool you. I'm a nice guy. But don't fuck with me. Because I'll crack his fucking skull open. Excuse me. But anyway, number love to the other channels out there. Hope all you guys have a good one. Don't be so dismissive of other people. Give a motherfucker a chance. I'm not even talking about myself. There's other people out there that aren't me that got channels that you guys just don't ever include and shit on. You got to be a part of some kind of network to be a part of you guys. I'm out. Don't need you. Don't need you. I can have 0 views, 0 subscribers, and still do the same thing and be just as happy as I would, whether or not there's somebody or nobody at all. But that's just the way I operate. That's how my mind works. Max is mind. That's it. All right, guys, that's all we got for now. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a great Friday night. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll talk again real soon. Deuces.